What's up, guys? Carolina Jackpot coming at you, August 23rd, 2021. And guess what? We got 4 games on tap this Saturday, week 0 of the college football season. Guys, football's upon us. These are not the most exciting names, not the big marquee matchups that we like to see. But nonetheless, it's football, guys, and we usher in a season where hopefully we see some kind of a return to normalcy. They've seen a little bit of a spike in the coronavirus over the last few weeks here toward the end of the summer. Hopefully, we get a season in where we see minimal games lost and we see plenty of fans in attendance this year. That's what I'm really looking forward to. And you got to think this year, and you got to really wonder, how is that going to affect these teams this year? Especially teams playing on the road. How are they going to handle it? Well, you got a lot of young players. Maybe this is their second year playing. They haven't played in front of a crowd since they've been in high school. So it just goes without saying that I think we're going to see some sloppy play this year, some fumbles, some interceptions, some mistakes, maybe some false starts, especially the first few weeks of the season. But it probably will all get worked out, at least by around the midway point, I would think. First game on the docket for Saturday. We've got Nebraska on the road at Illinois. The Huskers are laying 7 on the highway in Champaign. Over-under for this game set at 55. Now, I wrote all these up yesterday afternoon, so a couple of these lines have shifted just a little bit, but nothing of significance. The Huskers were 3-5 last year, returning 7 players on offense, 10 on defense. They do lose their lead receiver, Wan'Dale Robinson. He hit the transfer portal, went to Kentucky, and also quarterback Luke McCaffrey, who started a few games there for him towards the beginning of the season, has also gone and hit the transfer portal as well. So usher back in quarterback Adrian Martinez. Seems like he's been there for a while. He's got some talented but unproven wide receivers and a new running back in Marquise Stepp, who transferred over from USC, the West Coast version. He been banged up a little bit in the summer, and he was banged up a lot at Southern California. Scott Frost is 12-20 since he arrived in Lincoln at the beginning of the 2018 season. Looked like he was just on top of the world when he came over from UCF, but he hasn't been able to produce the same kind of results with his alma mater. This team, with all the experience they have and everything coming back, should provide him the best chance at doing that. We'll have to see. They lost 41-23 to the Illini last year, which in that game, though, they were -5 in turnovers. They actually turned the ball over on the first play of the game. McCaffrey threw a couple of interceptions there. He was kind of benched, and Adrian Martinez took back over after that, and they started to play a little bit better down the stretch. Defensively, they should be better with 10 return starters. They are returning they're losing their number 2 tackler in linebacker Will Honus. He suffered a knee injury, so he's going to be out for the year. The Illini were 2-6 last year, and that piss-poor record ushered out head coach Lovie Smith. In comes Brett Bielema. This is his 13th year, actually, as a head coach. Has been coaching in the NFL as an assistant since he was fired at Arkansas after the end of the 2017 season. Got a 97-58 record as a head coach between his time at Arkansas and the place where he got most of his success at, which was the University of Wisconsin. They're returning 18 starters. They got a couple of injuries on the defensive line. It shouldn't be anything real serious. Got a deep in the running back position, led by Chase Brown. Their quarterback, Peters, is pretty decent as well. Got banged up a little bit the first game of the season last year. Solid offensive line, though, for Illinois. And we know that Brett Bielema likes to run the football. So I think they're definitely going to be doing some of this on Saturday afternoon. They've kind of done some remodeling work on that stadium in Illinois. You got to think that they're going to muddy this game up a little bit. I think that I'm going to kind of lean with the under here on this game. And I'm going to take the Fighting Illini in this game to cover that 7-point spread. I don't necessarily know that they win this game, but I just think that them running the football, slowing down the pace of the game, Nebraska kind of ushering in some new players on offense at the skill positions other than quarterback, I think that just holds us under that over-under total, and I think that Illinois is probably going to cover this number here. And it wouldn't shock me if they won this game outright. Would not shock me. I think Brett Bielema's a good coach, and had some problems at Arkansas. Really wasn't the best fit for him. I don't think. I think he's kind of back somewhere. It's kind of in his wheelhouse once again in the Big Ten, and I'll look for them to cover this game, if not win that thing outright. We do have Hawaii, the Rainbow Warriors, on the road at UCLA. UCLA is laying 17 at home in the Rose Bowl, with over-under in this game set at 69. The line on this has actually moved now to UCLA minus the 18. Hawaii returning 7 on offense, 11 on defense. They were 5-4 last year. They won the New Mexico Bowl 28-14 over Houston as an 8-point underdog. They're returning their quarterback, Chevon Cordeiro, 14 touchdowns and 6 interceptions last year. Under head coach Todd Graham, this is his second year on the job in Honolulu. They're 1-2 straight up and against the spread on the mainland United States. Their defense should be improved with 11 starters coming back over there. You'd have to think that it's going to be. UCLA was 3-4 last year, right? But they were actually 15 points away from being 7-0. Now, I know that sounds a little bit silly, but if you look at it, it's really not. They got all 10 starters returning on both sides of the ball. Quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson, 4th year in the program. He also has a capable backup there in Chase Griffin, as he was banged up a little bit last year, and Griffin stepped in and did very well for him. He's been banged up this summer as well. That he being Dorian Thompson-Robinson, kind of an undisclosed injury they're really not speaking about. Don't really know what that is. He's marked as probable for the game against the Rainbow Warriors. They play LSU in week 2, so I've got to kind of think that they're going to kind of limit him in this game. I really don't think that Chip Kelly wants to show his hand on everything that he can do offensively. And, I think that even with the guy being probable to me still means questionable, and it kind of means questionable if you're playing against a team that clearly is inferior to you and that you should take care of. Hawaii, however, did pull an upset against the Pac-12 team in their season opener 2 years ago, winning at home against Arizona. Look, the way Arizona's season unfolded, it really didn't turn into be an upset. UCLA has got a lot of experience coming back. They've got the weapons to show out offensively. I feel like they're just considerably stronger than what Hawaii is. I'm going to kind of lean to the under on this game as well, just because I don't think that UCLA is going to show their hand on everything. And I'm going to take the Rainbow Warriors to cover the number here. You know, maybe get a backdoor cover late. I do think UCLA will win and really not have a whole lot of problems doing so. Pull away in the second half. But I think that Hawaii is going to cover that number. It's just a little bit too big, just because of the fact that I think, not that I don't think UCLA is better than Hawaii, I just think they're going to play a little bit conservatively, just in preparation for that game against LSU. Just my thoughts there, because I really do think that Chip Kelly and the guys out there in LA think that they actually have a chance to win that game against LSU, and they do. They really do. That one's going to be a good game, and it's a lot better than what some people think, that LSU is going to go out there and just smack them around a little bit. I'm not really solidly in that camp. All right, we got UTEP going on the road at New Mexico State. New Mexico State is catching 8.5 at home. And they over-under here is set at 54 and a half. This is the I-10 rivalry. It's going to be renewed once again. Head coach for UTEP, Dana Dimmel, is 0-2 versus New Mexico State since he's been at UTEP. They haven't won this game since 2016. This is a rivalry game. UTEP returning 19 starters altogether, 11 on offense. They were 3-5 last year. Had a couple of close losses, though, to La Tech and North Texas, both on the road as double-digit underdogs, and they covered the spread in both of those games. They're led by their quarterback, Gavin Harrison, is that his name? Tailback Deion Hankins, pretty good players there offensively for the UTEP Miners, and this is definitely going to be their best team in quite some time. New Mexico State actually played in the spring. Fall season was canceled. They were 1-1. They lost to Tarleton State, but beat Dixie State. I'm not even sure where either one of those schools are. Somewhere in Texas, I would imagine. But they got in 35 practices there. That's 35 practices and 2 games. Instead of the normal 15 spring practices that most schools get in. They had went 415 days without being on the field. Only got 3 starters back and 0 on defense from that 2019 team, which wasn't very good. A lot of transfers out, a lot of transfers coming in. I got a lot of young players, and I think that eventually this season they're going to be better. But game 1, I just don't think is the time that they're going to do it. I think game 1's going to be tough. UTEP should have the advantage on both sides of the football here, and I'm going to take them to cover this number. And I'm also going to kind of lean to the over here on this game. I just, I think UTEP has the offensive weapons to put some points on the board. But I do think New Mexico State will get their share. I think they'll get their share. I think we're looking at a 40-something to 20-something type game here with the Miners coming out victorious and the over hitting in this matchup. Final matchup of the day. No, it's not the final matchup of the day. This one's actually, I'm not sure. The Hawaii game is the one that comes on the latest, I believe. Anyway, there's actually another game too there. Southern Utah, and I can't remember who they're playing. It's one of the group of 5 teams, but that one's not on the board. So that one we won't cover. UConn is on the road at Fresno State. Fresno State is laying 27.5 at home against UConn. Over under set at 62.5. This is a 3,000-mile trip, first of all, for UConn. Randy Edsall's Huskies. It's his second time around as head coach in Stores. First game since 2019. They did not play at all last year. Fresno State was a team that was 3-3 last year. By the way, at kickoff of this game, which would be 2 p.m. Pacific time on Saturday, actually 11 a.m. Connecticut time. That's how it's going to feel to them. It's going to be 102 degrees in Fresno, California. Now, this is that kind of that dry, arid desert heat, but still 102 degrees is it's still hot. This team is returning 9 on offense and 10 defensively. They got a pretty tough schedule coming up too. They're at Oregon next week, and the week 4 they're at UCLA. So they may be, looking to try some different things here. The quarterback Jake Hefner is a Washington transfer. He's got a lot of weapons on the outside. He threw for 2,000 yards last year in just 6 games. So offensively, I think Fresno State's going to definitely be a team to contend with. UConn, they were 2-10 back in 2019. They're 6-30 over the last 3 years, which 17, 18, and 19. They've got 14 starters actually returning total off of that 2019 team that hung around. Edsall says they've been in the weight room, they've been working out. I mean, they have been practicing somewhat, when they're able to. Their spring practices, they got in 12 of those this year. It was cut short by 3 due to the coronavirus. But their average losses over that 3-year span have been by 26 points per game. Henceforth, they just kind of dropped out of the American Athletic Conference, signed a contract with the CBS Sports Network, so all their games are going to be televised there, kind of recoup some of that money that they spent getting or paying that buyout to get out of the American Athletic. There is a lot of attrition there, though, in that defensive back room for Connecticut. A lot of inexperience there. There's a lot of experience on both sides of the ball, but the defensive back room is a position of weakness for the Huskies. And, traveling 3,000 miles across the country to play in 102-degree heat that you're not used to is bad enough, but you haven't taken the field since 2019, and the teams that you fielded then and for the 3 years before then just weren't very good at all. Fresno State has got to cover this one, and I think the over hits here on the 62.5 as well. I think they're going to tune them up, and guys, every week when I do picks against the spread, I give you my lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels pick of the week. This is my lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels pick of the week. This is definitely the one that I would run to the window with. If I was just looking at these other games, this Hawaii UCLA game, this is one I would kind of stay away from. I'm really not sold on Hawaii covering that. I think UCLA is a much better team, but I just have a feeling that they're just not going to show all their marbles that day. So those are the week 0 picks against the spread. Last year hit just over 50% on college football. Looking to do even better than that this year. I'd like to get close to that 60% number. Would really be raking some dough in for you guys if I was able to do that. So please, if you're new around here, stay true around here. Click the bell, subscribe, click the bell. Subscribe first, then click the bell. So you get all the notifications of the Carolina Jackpot channel. We do college football videos here all year long, live show on Wednesday nights and on Sunday nights. And make sure that you check out our Pick'em contest down in the description box below. You can win yourself a nice little pot of money at the end of the college football season with just a $20 buy-in. Gets you action all year long. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching. Thanks. I'll see y'all later. Appreciate it. Peace. And I'm out. Go Gamecocks and go Coach Beamer. Woo!